the ambition, and that was also Sitra's goal. Sitra, this Finnish Innovation Fund, was the main organizer of the competition, was to take this opportunity to reflect upon how can an urban environment look nowadays, and what are the challenges, what are the responses, with a particular focus, of course, on sustainability and climate neutrality, and that was the setting goals of the competition. The Jätkäsaari block is also one of the first ones that you come across when you come from the city center, and it's supposed to be, it had this kind of landmark character that it would set up a standard for the upcoming blocks as well in the whole complex of Jätkäsaari. There was an interesting process of once the competition was sort of sorted and there was a winning team, which we happened to be, how to adjust all these ambitious ideas and all these concepts into the reality of the Finnish housing market. One thing we realized is that the square meter price in Helsinki is very high, and every centimeter counts. And therefore, ideas about having a generous open space which could be used in different ways were slightly or slowly transitioned into trying to make more bedrooms for the family members, having a living room, having the saunas. The project in itself is not a block, it's more of an ensemble of buildings. And the idea is to make an open ensemble, so to make a set of buildings which, of course, are understood as a unity and as an element, but that are open to the city. First of all, the street goes into the core of this ensemble. And also the park, which was obviously an important element in the whole Jätkäsaari, but also in the block, kind of slides into the building or into the buildings and flows inside this ensemble. And that's so we always thought that in an urban environment, it would be important that the inhabitants had a direct contact to the open air and to sort of nature, or urban nature, if you like. And we have these long balconies which go across the whole facade and impregnate the whole project with this idea. So the idea is that the park and the balconies and the plants that people may have in the balconies kind of form this unity. I mean, sauna, of course, is a very important element in the Finnish culture. And there was also a large amount of public saunas in Helsinki in the past, which have been lost with time. And in the meantime, almost every Finnish apartment has a small sauna, or many of the Finnish apartments have a small sauna in the inside. And the idea in the project was to say, okay, let's not have the small saunas in the apartments and go back to the idea of a common sauna. And actually, in the end, we kind of have both, because the apartments still have the small saunas. That's something that the developers didn't want to omit, and they still wanted to offer that service, particularly in the larger apartments. But the public sauna came in, and it's not only a sauna for the people in the block, but from people from the whole city. And it's kind of an event hub as well. And also the other interesting aspect is this public life. So we had a mixture of retail spaces and shops and restaurants with the sauna, but also spaces for the community. The idea of having a quite solid and robust building or set of buildings, and at the same time something that presents itself as an open body, if you like. And I think that the brick is definitely, the brick came also quite late into the project, this brick, and we found actually a Finnish manufacturer and who makes really nice bricks. So it almost feels as if it were made by hand. I think the brick brings a certain sense of timelessness, and at the same time the glazed balconies, which of course with the set of different green colors and with interaction of these colors with the light, because the different building facets have different orientations and do change a lot depending on how the sun is hitting. It brings this kind of vibrancy particularly to the interior, to the inside of this ensemble. So I think this combination of robustness and at the same time openness is also visible in other aspects, or is latent in other aspects of the project. For example, the idea of having a solid plinth, which is the base for the buildings. And the buildings grow from this plinth as if they were growing more or less from the ground, and it's quite monolithic. We tried to reduce the amount of materials. We were very careful in designing the window details so that you would have only brick and as little other materials as possible. And then once you're in the block, you have these colorful galleries, glazed galleries, which are kind of inner life inside the ensemble. Our office is is well known for working with color and integrating color as a kind of way to. It's like another material in the construction, and also a way to bring elements into a new life with this interaction of color and light. And at the same time, sustainability is another aspect which has always been a key factor in the office. So how to make out of all of these needs and out of all of these kind of parameters that shape a building in a certain way, a kind of effortless ensemble.